Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Guymond. I'm with the Arthritis Foundation, and I'm speaking today on behalf of the 50 million people in this country with doctor-diagnosed arthritis. You might be wondering, why is the arthritis taking a position on a very hard biotechnology issue? And I'm going to present the perspective of patients and advocacy efforts on behalf of those with arthritis as it translates into biologics. I was at a conference this summer, if you want to understand biologics, and 30 years ago, we had our juvenile arthritis conference, and just about every child in the room was either in a wheelchair or had braces or was using crutches. And we had our 30th anniversary this year, and I looked at a picture comparing them, and with about 700 children, there were 3 in wheelchairs, and that was it. And the difference that this has made is biologic medications. It's made a huge difference for everyone. We want to make sure that there's a pathway available for biologics. But the problem with biologics is they're extremely complex, and with that complexity comes cost. Your average biologic for a single medication may be as high as $2,500 on a monthly basis. We are looking from the Arthritis Foundation perspective, our patients and all of the other organizations that I could speak for but don't actually today, that we need these medications, and if they're available for market in a cheaper way, we could be looking at a 20, 30, 40% reduction in the cost of biologics. For an individual or even a family, this can be a huge savings for them. And the issue of affordability is not just out of pocket what they're going to save. It also goes to things such as medical adherence. If somebody can afford their medications, they will stay on them. In arthritis in particular, as I said, it is a chronic, debilitating, crippling disease. If somebody doesn't take their medications, they don't just suddenly get better. They stop taking their medications, they almost instantly go into remission or out of remission, and they're in a bad situation. And that leads to things like hospitalizations. And a hospitalization is probably going to be 8 to 10 times more than the cost of the medications would have been. So we want to make sure that people have access to the medications initially, but they adhere in their regimen and stay with those medications. I think one of the things I'd like to impart today for everyone is a distinction between a biologic and a regular medication. 100% of biologics are either injected or infused, IV infused. This is not going over to your retail pharmacy, your corner pharmacist, and saying, I'd like just a little medication to make me feel better. This is a highly complex medication that involves patient education, special handling, special shipping, all kinds of things done separately that would not be done with a standard medication that you might just get over the counter or with a standard prescription. One of our concerns is we want to see that there is a communication requirement with the prescriber or the physician about which interchangeable biologic comes along. And the reason is, in that special handling, because these are such complex specialty medications, if something goes wrong in the process, somebody may have an adverse reaction. It may not be the medication itself. It may be the shipping and handling or some other factor. But unless the physician knows what's happening with the medication, it leaves that empty spot in the entire complete patient record. I think it's important to note, too, that a lot of these specialty medications, biologics, are shipped from out-of-state pharmacies. So if there is an adverse reaction, the physician's going to be dealing with the patient, perhaps somebody with juvenile arthritis, and try to figure out where in this country this medication came from. This might be an emergency situation, and they need to know, and if it's not there, it's not there. The Arthritis Foundation has taken the position that this communication is essential. It creates a complete pharmacy record, but it also creates a complete medical record, and the two need to be joined together for patient care. They said arthritis is crippling and debilitating. People cannot walk. They can't get out of bed. It even causes blindness. This is not something like switching out a cholesterol medication. This is serious medicine with serious problems and consequences. The concern that we have in the long term is biologics, biosimilars, are not yet in the marketplace. And we might not have been so strongly in favor of legislation a year ago as we are today. But the FDA is moving quickly. The first biosimilar is in the approval process in the final phase right now. There are several others in the pipeline. This is going to be our reality, and it's going to be your reality and your constituents' reality. People are going to be having biosimilars in the next year, 2 years, continually. And that robust marketplace is only going to increase over time. So the concern at this point today, say we have biologic X, and the biosimilar comes on, and it's biosimilar 2, or biologic number 2. Maybe it's easier to track that down, which medication was biosimilar, which was not. When we start getting into biosimilar 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, how do we backtrack into that system and make sure that we know exactly what it was that somebody took? And it may not be a bad medication. It may in fact be a bad medication. Now, these are not exact as to the original product, but they're pretty close. But if there's a minor deviation and something happens, the physician should have that information to know exactly what that person was taking. So we fully support a communication requirement. Our position is after the point of dispensing within 48 hours as an absolute maximum. And I would pose the question to you, why is this significant? Why should you support the communication requirement? And I would ask, if it was your spouse or your loved one or even your child, and they were getting a biosimilar that maybe hadn't been in the marketplace, it wasn't that thoroughly tested yet, it didn't have a history, would you want your doctor not to know about that, or would you want your doctor to know about that? If it was my child, I would want my doctor, her doctor, to know what medication was being taken, how much was given, and if there was an adverse outcome, exactly what it was that caused that. So thank you, and I open myself up to questions.
Okay. Time for a couple of questions. I have one. Did I understand that one of the companies making a biosimilar or maybe the biologic actually started having problems? They were tracking problems. The patients were not getting the success that they had, and they traced it back to the fact that they had changed a stopper on a bottle that was housing the bio.
I've heard stories anecdotally about things such as that. I would leave that to the
I don't want to call the company. It did
happen
happen that they're that sensitive to change. It did happen. I just didn't want to call them. Sorry.
I have heard a lot of stories about people with complications due to shipping and handling and simple things like that. Thank you.